432.
And good morning, Your Honor. Alyssa Segura with the Neighborhood Defender Service on behalf of Mr. Dawson, P86432. Mr. Dawson has waived his right to be in person today because he is being held at a facility in Jackson. So Mr. Dawson is on Zoom. Mr. Dawson, will you please state your name for the record?
Mario DeAndre Dawson.
Whoa, that's already a tense start. The defendant, Mr. Dawson, is appearing remotely from custody, and the defense attorney's opening sets the tone, calm but cautious. In legal terms, this is what's called a preliminary examination, or a probable cause hearing. It's like a legal filter to see if the prosecution even has enough evidence to go to trial. Keep an eye on how the officer's testimony unfolds, because that's where this case could either stand or fall. What's your gut feeling, solid ID or shaky start?
Morning, Officer Pilcher, if you could come up to the witness stand. Raise your hand. You solemnly swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. All right. Okay, go ahead. Your witness.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, sir. Could you please restate your name for the record?
Officer Pilcher, Dash 05.
And how are you currently employed?
City of Taylor as a police officer.
And how long have you been working with the City of Taylor?
4 years.
And are you assigned to any particular unit with that department?
I was road patrol.
Okay, and on 10/11/2021, were you working as an officer?
I was.
And did your duties take you to the location of East I-94 and Monroe in the City of Taylor, County of Wayne?
They did.
And were you dispatched to this location or were you on routine patrol at this time?
I was on routine patrol.
Okay, and while on routine patrol, did you observe anything that would bring you into court today?
I did.
What, if anything, did you observe?
I was monitoring traffic on eastbound 94 Monroe. I observed a black Chevy Camaro passing me going east on 94. I observed this vehicle did not have a license plate on it. I then pulled out behind it, initiated a traffic stop.
Okay, let me stop you there. So you indicated that it was without a license plate?
Yes.
And is that a ticketable offense?
Yes.
And when you made that observation, did you initiate, so did you try to get closer to that vehicle?
I did. I pulled up behind it. I attempted to initiate a traffic stop on eastbound I-94 at the ramp to Southfield Freeway.
Okay, did you initiate a license silence?
I did. The vehicle slow rolled me after I hit my lights, so I hit my sirens a couple times and eventually came to a stop on the shoulder.
Okay, and did you exit your vehicle at this time?
I did.
And did you try to make contact with the individual inside of that vehicle?
I did attempted to.
Okay, how so?
I walked up to the vehicle. I observed the driver look at me. At this point, the vehicle sped off. I then ran back to my patrol vehicle and initiated pursuit.
Okay, how close did you get to the vehicle before it sped off?
I don't recall.
Okay, and you indicated that this individual looked at you?
Yes.
So he was the driver of the vehicle. Or did he put his head out of the window?
I believe he looked at me through the mirror.
Okay, and you see that individual in court today?
I did.
Can you please state where they are in the article closing the video?
They're on Zoom. We're in the looks like a green jumpsuit with white shirt on.
Pause right there. This is a huge moment. The officer is claiming he could identify the driver based on a split-second glance through a car window. No license plate, no name, just eye contact. In courtroom terms, that's a very thin thread for identity. The question every judge and juror asks, can you be sure beyond a reasonable doubt or even probable cause from just a look? What would you decide if you were on that bench?
Your Honor, let the record reflect the identification of the defendant in this case.
Record also reflects.
So you indicated you went back to your patrol car. Did you then continue pursuit?
I did.
Okay, and what were the results of that?
I was terminated on northbound Southfield Freeway. The vehicle turned off on outer drive. I then shut my license sirens off and terminated pursuit.
Okay, there's no further questions for this witness.
All right.
Officer, you prepared a report in this case.
I did.
Did you review that report prior to submitting it
Yes.
to ensure it's an accurate representation of the events that occurred?
Yes.
And did you review that report prior to your testimony today?
Yes.
Did you find any inaccuracies in that report?
No.
On the day in question, you indicated you were on I-94
Yes.
working the selective enforcement traffic detail.
Yes.
And when you observed a black Chevrolet Camaro traveling eastbound,
Yes.
the vehicle was in the middle lane, correct?
I don't recall.
Would reviewing your body camera or your dash cam footage refresh your recollection?
Sure.
Is your memory refreshed?
It is.
Okay. Okay, so I'll ask again. Was the vehicle in the middle lane?
Looks like it's the one right lane from the furthest left lane.
Okay, correct, because there's more than 3 lanes, obviously. Okay. And you were on the shoulder at this time?
I was in the turnabout, the median turnabout between east and west side.
And you would say he was traveling about 70 miles per hour?
I don't recall.
Your original reason for stopping him was because of no license plate.
Yes.
It wasn't because he was speeding, for example.
Okay.
Okay. And it wasn't until after the vehicle passed by, that's when you realized there was no license plate on this vehicle.
Correct.
And then this is why you then got behind him and initiated your lights.
Yes.
By this time, he was getting off on the Southfield Freeway exit, correct?
Correct.
Eventually, the vehicle did come to a stop, as you explained. And you got out of your vehicle.
Yes.
You approached from behind.
Yes.
And within seconds of you getting near the vehicle, it took off.
Yes.
And so you never actually interacted with the driver.
That'd be correct.
You eventually did get back in your vehicle to pursue,
Yes.
but pursuit you said was terminated.
Yes.
And no one was arrested for this offense around this time.
That is correct.
When you got back to the station, you ran lean on the vehicle.
When I got back to the station, I got a POL from our dispatcher that Schoolcraft College had I believe it was a larceny from a building. They had a suspect.
Hold on, that wasn't my question. I asked about the lean. You ran lean on the vehicle, correct?
Yes.
And the registered owner of the vehicle was not Mr. Dawson.
I don't recall who the registrant was.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Any redirect?
There's nothing further for the team.
Witness be excused?
Yes.
All right, officer, thank you. You're excused.
Judge,
Next.
the people move for bind over reserve argument for rebuttal.
All right. Response?
Yes, Your Honor. I can wait until it's out of the courtroom. Your Honor, we would object to the bind over in this matter. The people failed to provide sufficient evidence that the officer that testified today can identify Mr. Dawson as the individual who committed this offense. The officer testified that when he first observed the black Camaro, it was traveling on I-94, which is a freeway, in the lane not right next to him. He was on the median in a turnaround, and the vehicle was in one of the middle lanes. It was traveling roughly 70 miles per hour. He indicated it was not speeding, but it could have been traveling roughly 70 miles. And he indicated that it wasn't until after the vehicle passed by that he realized the license plate was missing. So this is when his attention was drawn to this vehicle, not as it was in front of him. Eventually, he did try to initiate a traffic stop. The vehicle did stop, and he got just a few, he approached from behind. He got very close to the vehicle, but never interacted with the individual. He stated that the individual looked at him through the mirror, but did not turn around or stick his head out of the window as the prosecutor had asked, and then drove off at a high rate of speed. They never made contact again, and no one was arrested for this offense. So there is no way to believe that this officer can positively identify Mr. Dawson as the man behind the wheel 2.5 years ago.
And boom, the judge drops the hammer. Dismissed. You can practically hear the defense exhale. The judge calls it one of the weakest cases of identity I've seen, which is legal speak for, nice try. But no, this is a textbook example of why eyewitness identification, especially from fleeting moments, often falls apart under scrutiny. It's also a subtle dig at the prosecution. The judge says he's doing them a favor by not binding it over, hinting that pushing this case forward would have been a waste of court time. What do you think, fair ruling, or did the officer deserve more credit?
So for those reasons, we would object to the bind over.
Judge, with respect to the defense counsel's argument, there was a valid traffic stop. Officer indicated that he pulled this vehicle over due to the vehicle not having any plates. Now he stops the vehicle slow rolls, the vehicle ends up stopping, and then as he approaches this vehicle, he makes a positive ID through the rearview mirror, Judge. Now, that's not a misidentification. He makes the identification on the road, and then he makes the identification here today in court, Judge. So we believe we've met our burden of probable cause, and we move for binding.
As to all of the other elements of the offense, I think there's evidence to support all of them. On identity, Mr. Shashra, that is a It's a probable cause right? A probable cause hearing. It's the lowest standard in criminal law. I have an officer who testified, he approached the vehicle and he saw the defendant through the rear view mirror. And then he identified the defendant as the individual charged in this case, who's seen on a video screen. And I don't have the best eyesight, but I can hardly see him, and I'm probably about just as far away from the defendant as the witness was. I think it's very weak on ID. I think I'm doing the prosecutor's office a favor. I'm not binding this case over. I don't think that there's been substantial evidence of identity of the defendant that would warrant even at a probable cause standard. So the case is not being bound over, be dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So Judge, for the record, the reason for the dismissal is because we're not believing the officer's identity.
That's what I'm telling you, yeah. I'm telling you that I have an officer who testified he saw a defendant in a rear view mirror for a split second, and then he can look at that little tiny TV screen up there and tell me that that's the guy and that's your case. I think that's got to be one of the weakest cases of identity I've seen. I'm doing the prosecutor's office a favor. There's not enough for a bind over.
Thank you, Your Honor.